Game started.
Vampiro from Chile. Okay. Now let's try c4, the English opening. Okay, just knight f6. I'm going for early fianchetto here. And he's going with the reverse Sicilian setup. So this pawn on c6, intended to blunt the bishops. Very logical move. And now he's got a solid center here. I could go for the Botvinnik setup. I talked a lot about the Botvinnik setup, but I don't play it that often. But it works against this kind of configuration. In my opening basics series, the most recent one I did, I covered the Botvinnik setup. So you put your pawns on c4 and e4 and support them with pawn to d3 at some point. Get your knights to these squares and castle, and then pawn to d3 now. You don't want to allow the knight to come in there and sort of put a clamp on your position. And then castle. And, well, black has done a reasonable job here of putting his pieces on active squares. Let's see where he goes from here. The knight. He's not got a knight on d4, which is interesting. That would put pressure here. So I want to unpin my knight. Let's start with this move f3. I may build up to f4 at some point. Let's just ask the bishop where it's going. And then I could expand on the queen side a bit here. His knight can't come into b3 at the moment because the queen's covering it, but now the queen. That's interesting. When this knight moves, it goes with check. So let's do something about that. Probably bishop here. And now the knight can't move immediately, and I'm threatening b4. Gotta watch for these little tricks. Yeah, when I played f3, I opened up this diagonal for the king. He did not do anything about b4 here. Yeah, I don't think that's good. That's not good. Okay, well, I'm going to take that. And he's going to try and get pressure on the d-pawn as some counterweight for his sacrifice, but certainly not sufficient. Just getting out of the way so I can defend the d-pawn with my rook. Let's see, his c-pawn is well defended, so he's got one pawn for his piece, but that's about it. Both sides, yeah. We both have both our bishops, so neither side has the bishop pair really. Let's bring this rook over to help defend the d-pawn, and then I'm going to push on with f4 and maybe even d4 at some point. Okay, f4. Reestablishing the pin. Yeah, the bishop is no longer blocked out of that square. But is this all that effective? Let's continue to push that bishop around a little bit. Okay, let's bring the queen back to this side of the board then. And I think I want to take with the bishop here. Sometimes you want to take with the pawn, and maybe that's still good in this position because you do gain a lot of space in the center. But in this case, the tempo I gain on his queen. And of course, since I'm a piece up, I just want to trade pieces when I get the chance. And with the bishop here, I could push on with e5 and play queen to g4. Kind of go for the king side here. Okay, he's eyeing some of my pawns. He's also looking at this, but pawn to e5 anyway. He has a check. Queen here, check. Picks up the knight. He could have played that. Of course, his knight was loose too, but he could have played the check first and then saved his knight. But that would give me time to save my knight. So I guess I wasn't actually losing a piece there. Okay, so I was thinking I want to bring the queen to g5, but he's g4. He's covering that square. How about bringing the knight to knight to e4, and let's take with the pawn to keep his knight out of these squares. And I'm threatening to take over here on c5. So if I take on c5 and he attacks my knight with queen e7, does the knight have any square it can go to? Instead of taking the pawn, maybe just put the knight here. It's just like a great square for the knight. And then pile up on the open G file here. A bishop f3, rook g1 to g3, other rook to g1, queen to g2. And break through here. And the knight will prevent his pieces from coordinating easily. Or, more simply, or more quickly, just queen to h5. Threatening this pawn. Well, its pawn is supported. I'm going to start with bishop f3. I'm not so worried about him taking here. I'll take back with the pawn. If he does that, let's go ahead and trade once. And now he has a passed pawn over there, so he's got an asset. I'm going to go here with the rook. I'm still thinking about the move queen g2. It hits this pawn, but he moves that out of the way. So maybe I'll prepare it a little bit. So after rook g1, then queen g2 comes with the idea of putting the bishop here, chasing his pieces around a bit, and also ganging up on the g-pawn here. And my king seems pretty safe. I've got this bishop here. Okay, at some point this pawn will become a threat. It can be a distraction at least. So am I threatening to take here? Rook takes, king takes. No, rook takes, queen takes, rook takes. I guess I am threatening to win the queen for two rooks. Wow. He goes all out. So let's just take here then.
Check.
And then queen here. So there's a threat of rook takes knight and queen to g7 mate. And if he brings a rook here to stop it, I can just take the rook. Rook takes, queen takes mate. So yeah, this is the quickest mate. Check. In this case. King takes is the only move.
Black resigns.
Okay, well, a cute little finish. Kind of an easy game, but anyway, it shows that I was trying out the Botvinnik setup. We can take a look at that in the post-mortem and see how black could have reacted better. I thought probably black was doing okay until he lost a piece. So, see you guys later. Bye.